Hello everyone, it's Dave here. I came into the city today for a special meeting. We're wanting to settle an issue with regard to suite ventilation. This unit I'm standing in front of right here in the boiler room is called the makeup air unit. We used to have a unit that was 3 times this size that did the job of ventilation for the whole building. Maybe not great, but it's what we had. However, code requirements have changed, and now this unit will only be ventilating the hallways. And within each suite, there will be a suite ventilator that will look after the ventilation in your own suite. So today we were settling the design. There's been some discussion of where it should go, and we have built a prototype, and I'm going to show you that in a minute here. But I wanted you to be aware of what's going to happen because it does have an impact on the suite. We do not have a choice to not have in-suite ventilators. That is a code requirement. I've actually tried to get the original big one back so we didn't have to do them, but it's a case of we have no choice. So I'm going to show you what our prototype looks like, and I'll talk about that in a second when I get there. Okay, I'm heading down to the 206 suite where we've built our prototype. Or sorry, 106. So I'm heading into the bathroom in 106. Every suite will sort of look like this. This is the unit that is up in the ceiling. It's called a life breath unit. This unit will take air from outside the building, transfer the heat from your internal air to that incoming air and the moisture, and conserve energy and humidity. The main issue with this is we have to drop the ceiling 11 inches to allow this to happen. In one of the bathrooms, the ceiling will be dropped 11 inches. You will still have 82 inches floor to ceiling in this bathroom. This only goes in one bathroom. I know that's not a perfect solution, but it's the best solution we have right now. We've looked at several other areas. We looked at putting it up in the main closet, but that is too cramped. We looked at putting it in the laundry room. There's some major problems with putting it in here in that we have a laundry stack in here that will not allow the unit to be maintained. And the other spots in here would require major movement of electrical, sprinkler, and pipes to allow it to go in here, which means a lot of added cost, which we would probably have to bear. It also would mean probably a month-and-a-half delay additionally to allow that design change to happen. So that is why we have had requested they build a prototype so we could actually see it. It kind of reminds me a bit of what a hotel room feels like sometimes. These wires are not part of it. They won't be there. This drywall that's up there will be ripped down. It was put up there for demonstration purposes. There will be venting that comes off of here and goes to most of the rooms in the unit. So it actually is circulation among the whole unit, not just this area. Where this round hole is, there will be a vent sucking area in from the bathroom. And all in all, I think this is not going to be too bad a solution. It's the only real workable solution that we've got. And unfortunately, with the code requirements, we really don't have much choice. So The board is going to be looking at that this evening, and approving it or not. I believe they will approve this. We're probably going to have enhanced drywall put on the ceiling in this particular case because we are dropping it 11 inches in case there's any water. Normally we just use normal drywall, but this will probably be a type of wet wall in here. Your other bathroom will be as it ever was, but this one bathroom will be down about 11 inches in the ceiling. There's really no other way to do this. We have to do it. We also have to put it somewhere where it can be maintained. This unit opens up, and inside is several filters. They have to be replaced twice a year. We will be incurring significant expenses over the years to maintain these, but again, we have no choice. This is the code requirement in the building industry these days. So that means that a mechanical person, a plumber, will probably be coming into your unit twice a year to replace these filters that are up in that unit. The filters cost about $40 a unit. So twice a year, that is a significant amount of money that we're going to have to budget for starting next year. And the additional labor required to change them. And you know, that's just the way they are. The filters have to be changed. There's also another piece of this sitting down on the floor here is a duct heater. This heater will be right up there, mounted up there in the duct, and that will be heating the air coming in from outside when it's cold out. Within this unit are heating coils, and they will heat the air coming in from outside. Now there will be a steel hatch above there that will allow access to that heater unit, and above here there will be a steel spring-loaded hatch that will slide down when it's time to maintain this or to replace it. In this location, we believe it won't be a maintenance problem. You have your tub here, the toilet goes here, and the sink and mirror, whatever lighting, goes here. So this is sort of an open space, so it is not a maintenance issue. If we spent the money, which could be like multiple hundreds of thousands, to move it to the laundry room, that will have an impact on how much you can stack stuff up in this room. And in this room, it also would be a naked installation. In other words, it would be bolted to the ceiling and not hidden. In the bathroom, it will be hidden behind drywall, so it'll basically be disappeared. All you're going to see is a metal hatch above the ceiling. You will have 82 inches of clearance within this ceiling space, so it's not too bad. I can barely reach you with my finger. So quite honestly, in my bathroom in my condo, it's about the same distance because there's equipment mounted up in the ceiling. It's a trade-off. Basically, the issue here is, like so many things we're dealing with right now, is this building wasn't built to handle this kind of thing, so we have to adapt. That's just simple reality. We would prefer to have more distance between the floors, but we don't. So we have to do what we can do to comply with the city's requirements and the code requirements. And right now, we believe this is the best solution for this problem. And I'm going to be touring the board through here this evening, and I believe they will be voting on this to accept this or not. If not, we have a major problem. But I think that after much discussion, we had all the engineers in here today, and we all went over this, and we believe that this is the best workable solution in this property at this time. I also want to show you the new fireplaces are being mounted already. This one's brand new. They have a cover on the front of it to keep the glass safe. I think these are actually a little bit bigger in that it's a more of a square front on it, so it is a little deeper, I think, than the old rectangular ones were. This is more square, so that's an enhancement. Those are all being done on the first floor right now, and in the rest of the building. The initial inspection of the first floor has been completed. They are planning to do the end inspection by the city, which will take about 2 days for the first floor in about a week or two. And at that time, they are planning to start boarding up the first floor. In order to keep this project on track, they're going to do the inspections floor by floor while infrastructure work is still going on upstairs. That way we can start working on this floor, finish it, and then work our way up and basically do things in parallel. Now, I have to be honest with you. I promised that during the AGM that we would be transparent. The way I look at it right now, I see this project as being potentially 4 to 6 weeks longer than expected, which would put our end of construction somewhere in mid to late March. Why? Well, the main reason is we've had to do a lot of extra work to adapt this building to new codes. We've done, I believe, 8 change orders so far, which is work above the actual project that was initially approved. I think there's something like $750,000 involved. We've had to replace more stuff, a lot more stuff than expected. This means we're going to be getting a better building in the end, but that kind of work takes time. That is not why we are not boarding up yet. To get those things done is simply takes time. So we have not changed the end date yet. We want to see how quickly drywalling is going to go and how quickly we can get the inspections done on the upper floors. I believe that we are probably going to, at our May meeting, mid-May, make a more accurate determination of just where we're at. But like I say, we have promised to be totally transparent, and that's what we're doing. And I just want you to be prepared. Our construction end date right now is February 8th. I believe that we probably will have at least another month or so of work to do here. The amount of work we've had to do was greater than expected. We are getting a lot more brand new stuff as a result, but that has an impact on the timeline. So I believe in mid-May we'll have a better idea whether it is going to slip by a month or so or not. But I want to give you a heads up front because that's the honest thing to do. So keep it in mind. We're still aiming for a spring move-in next year. At some point, we are going to be talking about the procedures for that this summer. But I suspect, being realistic, from what I see here, is we're probably added a month to 6 weeks of extra work in here that we've had to do to keep this going. So I don't want it to be a surprise for you. I know that a lot of people are hurting, and every day matters. But the work that's having to be done is having to be done, or we will not pass inspection. And we want to have a very great building when you move back in, so we don't have any issues. This building is actually going to be much better than it's ever been, and I just hope everyone has patience with that. It's not something we want to do, but I'm just telling you up front because that's, I believe, where we're at. So anyways, I'm probably going to add a little video on the end of this to talk about the change orders. I don't have them in my pocket at the moment. There's a bunch of paperwork, but I will do that at the end of this video, and I also let you know if the board has approved the solution that I just demoed for you. I don't think I've got a lot else to show you here. This is It's all pretty much infrastructure work right now. I do see a lot of fireplaces that are in, and I believe the bathtubs are all in this floor already. Pretty much this floor has passed inspection for electrical, gas, plumbing, and there will have to be a final inspection by the city before boarding up can happen. They expect that to happen in a week or two, and they're planning on maybe a day or two of clearing up any deficiencies the city reports, and then this floor will start boarding up. So when I'm planning my next major video for around April 23rd, 24th, and hopefully I'll be able to show you some significant drywalling activity at that time. I thank you everyone for their patience, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.